not need validation from anything or anybody. Welcome or welcome back. That's your favorite mental health specialist, Ty Guidance. And yes, that is what we're going to be talking about in today's video. Now, with that being said, because there's no right or wrong way to heal yourself, always and only take what resonates as well as leave the rest. So if it doesn't apply, it's not for you. Do not force it. Let it fly. But most importantly, grab your pens, grab your paper, and be prepared to take notes. In this video, we're going to go over and discuss why it's so important to support yourself, to believe in yourself, and to show up for yourself despite if people choose to or not, as well as some recommendations, some reminders, some disclaimers, and what to be aware of. Starting off with the topic of the video, starting off with the introduction. The reason why you don't need external validation is because you can validate yourself. Once you realize that people are not going to always support you or that they don't have to support you, you're not going to be easily disappointed. You guys, that is one of the best lessons that I've learned out of the 28 years of my life. I've learned that at an early age. I've learned that while I was a teen, like in my teenage years. Once I saw how easily people would be able to disappoint me, instead of me being angry and frustrated and focusing that energy onto these people and just having so much to say about them and just, I was just like, you know what, I'm going to cut these people off. I'm going to associate people in the categories that they need to be associated with, and I'm not going to expect too much of them. So for example, if certain people were just associates, I treated them like such. If certain people were like considered to be like my loved ones, yes, I did have standards and they either met them or they didn't. Once you could create standards and afford your standards for yourself, when people do things for you, you don't feel dependent on them. I was raised to be hyperly independent. You guys, I've always been independent, like literally ever since I was a little girl. So this is why I created this platform and this channel, to speak from experience, to motivate and educate. The second disclaimer is, like I said, learning how to be independent, learning how to do things yourself. Once you learn how to do things for yourself, you don't always want support from certain people because it's not genuine. Because I grew up to be independent my entire life, I knew when people were doing things because it was genuine or they felt the need to have control or to throw it against me or hold it over my head. And that is the main reason why I will continue to validate myself, is because growing up, unfortunately, I have been around people who would do certain things just to throw it in my face, and I couldn't stand that. I would rather go without or seem like I'm struggling or seem like I'm suffering before I would ask for help from certain people. And I'm going to get into that in just a second. Like, a lot of people will support you so they can be like, well, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't do this or you wouldn't do that. I don't like people like that. If you're not going to give out the kindness of your heart, if you're not going to give because you have genuine intentions, or you're not giving because you have to give, you don't have to. Like I've stated, everyone does not have to like me. Everyone does not have to support me. Everyone doesn't have to like you. Everyone doesn't have to support you. You wouldn't even focus on that if you liked and loved yourself. And that's going to be part of the recommendations. Because I was taught how to love myself as a young person, I could care less if people want to not love me. You have to learn how to support yourself, because sometimes you're not always going to have help and assistance. And sometimes you may be able to do certain things for yourself. And if other people don't do those things for themselves, how could they help you? Like when I initially decided to become an entrepreneur way back when, this is my second YouTube channel, by the way. If you're OG, you know that. I created a YouTube channel. You guys can find my other one. I'm not going to say the name, but if you know, you know, right? And at the time, a lot of people I knew weren't entrepreneurs or doing the things that I wanted to do. So I, like I said, easily clocked and peeped that certain people were not going to support me. Not because they didn't want me to do well, but it was just like, if they're struggling and they see me doing well, why would they want me to be happy? So you know what I did? I cut those people off and I don't associate with them. But I didn't feel like, oh, people are liking my videos or people are watching my videos and people not like. I don't care. Those who are meant to see it, those who are meant to impact, those of you who are engaging, I'm grateful for you. Everybody else, let them watch. Let them watch. Now, of course, when you're building community, when you're building a business, when you're doing something, when you want to be supported, like, this doesn't mean that you don't have any feelings. This doesn't mean that you deserve community. But the third recommendation is that some people are just not your audience. And it's like, once you, like I said, learn to support yourself and not need validation, and you build confidence within yourself, you can start attracting people who want to support you. Now, where I'm at, because I've been consistent in pouring into these videos, the people who have been commenting, the people who have been engaging, the people who support me in my real life, I'm grateful for them. I have genuine community now. But it's like, you're not going to be able to seek support and assistance from others if you don't have that energy for yourself, because you don't want to be codependent. You don't want to be attached. You don't want people to manipulate you. People do it in relationships. People who don't have control over themselves, or who don't have real influence, I'm gonna be completely honest, or not as powerful as they project themselves to be, feel the need to control people. They do it in the industry. Celebrities, they're called gatekeepers. You have people in family, like, you have men and women. Let's just say somebody makes a significant amount of money and the other person doesn't. They'll try to, like, give them, breadcrumb them so they could feel like they have control. No, it's disgusting. It's degrading. Like I said, these people are losers. If you had real power, you don't have to manipulate people. You don't have to gaslight people. And not just that, support is free. So it's like, when people didn't want to, like, comment or engage, once again, you're not my target audience. And like I said, it got to a point where I don't even want you to be here. So it's like, if you don't want to like, comment, engage, don't be here. You feel me? And if you are, because you know some people in this world are nosy and problematic, let them be problematic and chaotic and nosy by themselves. But it's just like, you don't have to not feel successful just because people don't want to support you. Some people are, some people aren't. You want to focus on yourself, and we're going to get into the recommendations, but it's like, you just need to be aware of that. When you validate yourself, it's a privilege. So now when I have people do things for me, like my man, right, my significant other, my partner, I'm grateful for him. Certain people in my community, the people I've networked with, the people I've collabed with, people I've, made friendships with, or whatever it is, I'm grateful for them. I understand it's a privilege. Like, a lot of people don't realize it's a privilege for people to be there for you. It really is. Now, of course, when you're, like I said, coming from a loving and supportive background and you have the finances and the resources, it is normal, but a lot of people still take advantage of that. Like, yes, you have access. Yes, you have resources. Yes, like I said, when you heal yourself and you become healthy and you're surrounded by healthy people, yes, community is necessary because people need people. But it's like, don't ever take people for granted. You feel me? Because a lot of times, too, when people are always there is a sense of entitlement and expectancy. At any moment, if somebody doesn't want to do something, you can't get mad, especially if it's not, hurting you or harming you. So now when it comes to the recommendations to seek validation within yourself, you need to figure out why you lack confidence. You need to figure out why you can't support yourself. You need to figure out why you're insecure. So I need you to let me know in the comment section or on your notes. And while you're figuring that out, I need you to take your time answering this question. Why do you feel like it's so hard for you to support yourself? Why do you struggle with gaining confidence? Why is it so hard for you to believe in yourself? What happened to you? Did somebody say something to you in elementary school, primary school? Did somebody do something to you at work? Did somebody tell you that you couldn't be anything? Like, did you not grow up with support? Were you not taught and shown how to be confident? Like, I need you to figure out why you feel the way you do. The second thing I need you to do is to understand, how is this showing up in your life? So if you said that you feel like you can't believe in yourself because somebody made fun of you in the 7th grade, I want you to ask yourself, well, ever since the 7th grade, how has this affected you in your life? How is this showing up? How does it show up when you represent yourself? How does it show up in relationships? How does it show up in your work ethic? Like, how does it show up with your appearance or whatever it is? We need to figure out why you feel. Did I say that right? We need to figure out why you feel the way that you do. Excuse me. You guys, I'm getting dizzy. I really need to work on my setup and my lighting, but right now, I just have to work with what I have. It is what it is, okay? But yeah. The second recommendation when it comes to you validating yourself is focusing on what you have control over, what you don't. So if you know you're insecure about let's just say maybe your emotional intelligence, I need you to figure out what you can do to become more emotionally intelligent, and I need you to figure out the things that are making you feel insecure. So it's similar to the first thing. Like, once you're able to identify what it is that you're lacking, you could start to decide what you can do to make it better. So if you are somebody who is struggling with validating yourself because maybe you don't have, let's just say, the finances, what can you do to become financially literate? Or what could you do to be emotionally stable? What could you do to start speaking positively of yourself or pouring into yourself? Whether it's journaling, meditation, watching videos on YouTube, booking your service in your session with me, going to a therapist, like, what are the solutions? Like, what can you start practicing daily? The third recommendation is knowing that when you do learn to support yourself, you have to take your time. Building confidence, like I said, if you weren't taught and shown, it's not something that you just pick up on a day. It's a skill. You have to experience it. So some days you may feel confident, some days you don't. As long as you are working and you're putting in the work and you do what you need to do, why would you not see the results? Why would you not get better? If you guys are watching these videos with intention, which I tell you guys all the time, you should be taking notes and letting me know in the comment section so I can know what's working, what's not. You know, you'll improve. Learning to validate yourself, like I said, is a skill if you struggle with it. For me, you guys, I've been this way. It's in my DNA. It's in me blood. That's why I make these videos, and I'm going to continue to make these videos, and I'm going to continue to say what I need to say, and those who don't like it, no one asked you to be here, okay? You have to realize that everyone is not going to agree with you. They don't have to. Like, I make these videos, and a lot of people who are insecure confuse my confidence with arrogance. It would be arrogant of me if I sat here and belittled the people who thought I was high and mighty. It would be conceited of me as if I acted as if I was better than the next person because I was born to be confident or I knew I was. I don't have to do that. I'm going to educate and inform. That's called confidence. Confident women and men, despite their race or gender or age, educate, motivate, inform, speak from their experiences. They give. We're not gatekeeping information. Because if people learn how to be confident, people would be able to support people and it wouldn't be an issue. But you have a lot of people who have secret animosity and envious and insecure because they weren't taught and shown, or a lot of people feel like they could be the only person to do things. It's so many people in this world. It's enough land and enough resources. When you validate yourself, like I said, you become confident and nobody can F with you, nobody can mess with you. That's why at the end of the day, I am going to say what I said and I can stand on it because I validate myself. If I didn't validate myself, I wouldn't be able to make these videos and say and look how I look. People are going to say whatever they want. That's on them. You need to learn how to validate yourself because at the end of the day, all you have is you. Like, your mom and dad are not always going to be in your life. The people that you love are not always going to be in your life. And it's like, when they're not there, what do you do? Once again, there's nothing wrong with wanting community and support because I know a lot of people want to be social and have friends, but it's like, you got to be there for yourself. And I'm telling you guys from experience, my relationships with other people has continued to improve the more I was able to be there for myself. Not just that, you want genuine connections. Like, do you want to be in relationships with fake people? I don't. If you're fake, my content, me and you, we're not going to get along. Okay? But for those of you who are real, you don't want fake people around you. And what I mean by fake is like, if you validate yourself, other people, they're not going to be intimidated. They're not going to be threatened. They're not going to, like I said, try to bring you down. That's arrogant. That's not confidence. It's not hard. Like, if let's just say I think I have like 400 plus people follow me. If 400 plus people follow me and support and engage, like, that's free. But it's like, when people go out their way to like withhold information or try to use information against you or make it seem like you're not going to be anything without them, who are these people? And I need you to answer that. And that's the last recommendation. Like, when people try to like doubt you or project fear onto you or belittle you or make it seem like you're not important, just ask yourself, who are these people and do you want to be like them? Because the answer 99% of the time to 100 is no. Like, all the people who chose, because like I said, there are the people who choose not to support you. Like, sometimes you're not even going to do anything. Sometimes when you're confident and you genuinely, like I said, know who you are and you can't fake energy and manipulate it, People who don't have that energy, they're going to feel some type of way. That's a them thing. But the people who chose not to support me, they didn't stop anything. They didn't do anything. And they couldn't. They're not honest. They're not genuine with themselves. They don't validate themselves. They seek external validation. Why would I want them to support me? Why would you want people who don't have genuine intentions to be there for you? Now, it's one thing, like I said, if you're afraid and you're working towards it. Like, I have no problem with people who have insecurities, who want to not be insecure no more. But if you already made up in your mind that you feel some type of way about somebody or something, you got to stand on it, especially when it comes to me. Because, like I said, I validate myself. I don't need someone to tell me, oh, post this. No, I'm posting these videos because I want to. And that's the final thing. You have to validate yourself because you want to. You genuinely have to want to. You genuinely have to learn to love yourself. You genuinely have to build a relationship with yourself. And this is why for the month of November, we're talking about this new identity, embracing ourselves and getting to know ourselves in maintaining our confidence. Because it's like, in order for you to validate yourself and not need other people, places, and things, you have to want to be there for yourself. You have to have love for yourself. And if you struggle with that, we're going to continue to make videos talking about that. So with that being said, thank you for those of you who watch and engage, and thank you for always having your notifications on and liking these videos like always, and letting me know what works for you, what you need to work on, what you want me to recommend, or what your experience is down below in the comment sections, as well as liking this video, sharing it, reposting, and following for more. And follow me on all my other social media platforms if I didn't already say that. It's in the description. When you guys head to my Instagram and on my TikTok, which is in the description, check me out on live so we can have these conversations and get to know me and get to know you, or book your service and your session on my website. But once you learn, and a lot of things I say repetitively because it's like it needs to click, Steven. Once you learn, like I said, how to feel confident, it's a blessing. And you'll only be surrounded by people who have the same energy. Like, people know they cannot come around you if they don't have 10 toes to the ground, especially over here. Let them feel how they feel. Because it's like, support is free. So it's like, if you support yourself, if someone wants to support you, okay, that's fine. Like I said, you don't gotta throw shade, you're gonna be mean. But like I said, when people are being shady and are being mean, the best way to clap back is just smile and wave, boys. Shout out to Madagascar. And just continue to support yourself, because they're not stopping anything. So if people don't want to support you, okay, you're still going to be successful. And just because one person, or even if it is 5 million people, you support yourself. And if you believe in God, ancestors, in the universe, take what resonates, leave the rest, because I'm not here to force religion or spirituality. It doesn't matter, because they got your back. They support you. Okay? Bye.